Hey everyone, managed to get a few hours to myself today, so I've come out into a fairly new patch of woods which I'm having a little explore around. I've come out with real minimal kit today. There's nothing in terms of a backpack, don't need it, and I haven't got any sleeping gear, so I'm just out for a few hours. So let's have a little look round. And I'm only a couple of miles really from civilization as such, but in this part of the Chilterns it can get quite dense and a bit of fun. I like to stop every once in a while and just be silent. I can still hear the road from where I parked, and there's definitely a shoot going on somewhere. I'm sure you can hear that in the background. Now, although I've got minimum kit on me today, as you can see I'm wearing a nice jacket. I'm not wearing bright colours today. I'm in more of a bushcraft mode than hiking mode. I have got kit on me that would be useful if I get into any trouble. I never take this for granted, because I was literally just walking down the bottom of this ridge here, and one of the beech trees decided to shed a big branch, and although it was a couple of meters in front of me and to the left, you know, there's every chance I could have arrived here a couple of seconds early and just taken that little detour, and then I could have been in trouble. But that's beechwoods for you, and you know, it's pretty dense growth in places, so you never know where you can turn an ankle. So I'm dressed for the environment. I know it's going to be between anywhere between 9 degrees Celsius at a high and down to 4 degrees this evening. So if I was to find myself out overnight, people were looking for me. I've had an accident, haven't arrived back when I said I was. You know, it's going to get pretty cold. So I'm dressed for the weather. I've got a base layer on, I've got a mid-layer fleece on, and I've got this jacket which is not necessarily waterproof, but it's certainly water resistant. I've given it a good treatment before the winter months. So there you go. As I say, I've got minimal kit on me today. I've got my survival kit, I've got my shelter, emergency shelter kit, I've got some water, I've got means of making fire, a few odds and ends, some possibles, bits and bobs, and I'm absolutely confident. I'll show you a little bit of a rundown of what I'm wearing today in a minute. But yeah, that's basically it. So let's carry on and see what's what. I'll turn you around the other way for the time being so you can have a little look at the view, and then we'll come back to me in a little while. Basically, I'm out today for a couple of hours just to scout this new place out. It looked as if it was quite... Birds up ahead. It looked as if it was quite remote. Well, I say remote, I mean, you're never going to get anywhere that's truly remote in England these days. But, you know, as out of the way as I can possibly get it. It's pretty thick, it's pretty dense in places. Not too bad around here, but I'm going to stop and have a quick brew. Do a few bits, so I'll carry on, guys. Where did I pick that guys thing up? I'm doing the same as Sean did in his video. Keep saying guys, guys, guys. What about you girls out there, eh? Must stop doing that. It's amazing how you pick things up when you're watching other people's videos. Mike Dixon, that's you to blame, I tell you. Right, let's carry on, and I'll come back to you in a little while. Right, so I've stopped and decided I'm going to have a bit of a brew up. Fancy a cup of coffee. But before I do that, I'm just going to show you what I'm wearing, just so you got an idea of how I'm dressed for the environment today, and of course what I'm carrying. So if I step back a bit to here, as you can see, I've got no backpack on me here. Literally, I'm just out with a belt, a few bits on the belt, nothing much. I'll go through each and everything I've got here before I set up for a cup of coffee. Let's take this belt off. A bit of a back belt, but that's all I felt I needed for today. So I know that this is not probably the most aesthetic of kits for anybody that wants to see all OD green and all foliage and all that kind of business. This is stuff that I've put together that's used. It's not meant to look pretty. It's just on a sort of pistol belt. There's my emergency shelter kit. Then I've got my Maxpedition style pouch, and that's got my brew kit in there, so I'm going to take that apart in a minute and have a coffee. One of these Dutch Army pouches that I've got my my net in, and I'll maybe do a bit of a video if I've got enough light this afternoon on that. It's a superb bit of kit. I think it should be a part of everybody's. I mean, it compacts down to nothing. And then on here I've got my Maxpedition single sheath. I've got my fire steel in the top there with a bit of bungee cord holding the steel in place, so it's never going to fall off. And then inside that I've got my Victorinox Outrider. That's the only knife I've got. Well, it's not the only knife I've got on me today, and I'll show you that in a minute, but that's the main one I'm testing out today, doing a few bits with that. So what I'll do is I'll get the coffee on, and then I'll come back to you on the camera and just take you through a few other bits. Right, so while I'm letting the coffee brew up on the hobo stove, I'm just using the meths burner today, Tatonka meths burner. Show you what I've got. Footwear, nice big leather boots, and I've got the gaiters on today because I've been walking through wet grass, didn't want my trousers to get wet. I've got some fairly quick drying cotton trousers on, and underneath the jacket, I'll try and do this as quickly as possible, but underneath the jacket I've got a base layer. There's my neck knife, you've all seen that hopefully. A base layer, and I've got a nice fleece layer, and then underneath that, or should I say over the top of that, I have the jacket. Love the jacket. As I waterproofed it just recently. And in this pocket I've got my gloves. In this pocket is where my camera's being stashed, in the Maxpedition M2 waist pack. And that's also where the Gorilla Pod goes. Up in this pocket there's nothing at the moment. And then up in this pocket here I've got my waterproof pouch, bag, whatever you call them, with the clips on the top, and that's got my wallet, my phone, everything in a perfectly dry environment in that top pocket. Then in my cargo trousers, in this pocket down here, I've got my personal survival kit. You've seen that, it's changed a little bit, so I'm going to do another video on that soon, based around the and just run through the items that the Build the Perfect Survival Kit shows you. And I'm going to tick all of those off just to show everybody. And then in this pocket here, just in case the old temperature drops a little bit, I've got my snood. And this is an awesome bit of kit. I absolutely love this. I'll just show you this a bit closer. It's basically a neck and head cover. Slips over like that, covers the head and the ears, so if the wind does pick up a bit, you can tuck it inside the fleece, the hood can come up over like this. You know, if it happened to be sunny and I was doing a bit of tracking or wandering through, you know, I can pull it up around my nose like this, covers my face nicely, and that will reduce any glare and shine that helicopter's coming over again. Reduce any glare and shine from the sun on my face that might demonstrate to the animals that I'm here. So on top of that, you've seen my brew kit, which has got my Guide Designs bottle in it. It's a full 32-ounce bottle there of water. I've got the hobo stove with some mess and a couple of sachets of coffee. My Possibles pouch, which is the Maxpedition anemone pouch. At the moment, I'm just trying that out, see how that goes, and that's basically it. So, you know, I'm only out for a couple of hours. I'm not doing an overnighter, but I'm prepared. I've got the right clothing on for the right environment at the right time of year, and I've got some essentials here with me that, you know, I can live quite happily off if I get into any trouble. You've all seen my emergency shelter kit, so I've got an orange bivvy bag for, you know, signalling purposes. All the bits that are in there. If I happen to fall over, break my ankle, and I needed to hold up for the night, I've got shelter, I've got the means to make fire, I've got water. You know, I should be fine. People know where I am. You know, I'm not going into some mental backpack full of, you know, blow up bed and all that kind of business. I've got what I need to survive should the situation require it. There you go. As you can probably see, the light's coming down quite a bit now. It's not going to be long before it gets pretty dark. I've had a nice couple of hours out just sitting down, watching the wildlife basically. Nothing much to report other than what you'd expect to see in a British woodland. Pheasant running around, a few squirrels doing what they need to do for the winter, and birds flying, pigeons around, that sort of thing. You know, nothing out of the ordinary, sorry to say. But it's been a great couple of hours. I've really enjoyed it. You know, but sometimes it's not all about there and going out and doing tons and tons of bushcrafty things. Sometimes it's just going out and being at one with nature, you know. And, you know, I've taken you along for the journey this time. Again, I haven't done one of these for a little while. And I'm sorry to say I got a couple of people that were kind of bashing that video, or those videos where I was doing the trek around trying to find a new wild campsite, because they said I didn't do enough bushcrafty things. Well, you know, there's always time. I only had a couple of hours today, and that was really what it was all about, getting out. And if there's one or two of you that were climbing up the wall the same as I, or that have been climbing up the walls same as I have been recently, sorry it's gone a bit dark, I've just changed course and the light's behind me. You know, if it's been of any help to anybody that's sitting indoors that can't get out at the moment, I don't know how my mate Mo's doing, Sticks Survival, I think that's what his name is, Mo anyway. Alright Mo, how's it going mate? Hope the leg's healing up nicely and alright. You're managing to get out. But you know, if anybody's stuck indoors and isn't able to get out at the moment, and this at least has shown you my ugly mug against the backdrop of the woods, then if you've enjoyed it, great. If you haven't, don't bother commenting, hey? Right, I'm going to turn the camera around now and just let you peeps get the last of the light walking through the woodland instead of looking at me anymore. So there we go, turned you around now. Hope you enjoy the view. Excuse me. You can see the light's really starting to come down now, so just drinking the last of my coffee as we're trudging back. There you go guys. Beautiful that is. That coming up parallel to the road now. Got to go and pick the missus up from work. Oh man, there's nothing like these cheap crappy coffees. 3-in-1 sachets. At home they taste like rubbish, and I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole. But you know what, out in the woods they transform, they're gorgeous. You see the lights of the car, it just tells you how dark it's getting now. You know, sometimes it's difficult to get a bit of outdoors time, but you know, where we've all got responsibilities and this, that and the other, but when you get it, peeps, it's so worthwhile. Get out there and enjoy it. You know, just do it. Even if you just go out for a walk in a small piece of local woodland and just sit down and watch what's going on for a little while. It's so worthwhile. I pity anybody that's living in a concrete jungle, I really do. Maybe they like it, you know, it's just my opinion, but there you go. Anyway guys, said it again. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. Nearly back to the car and the road, so I'm sure you don't want to be listening to cars driving by. Thanks very much for all your support, see you in the next video.